Mortgage rates are back on the rise this week. How's Portland's real estate market faring? Well, it's time to take a look at the very latest in our local real estate stats and trends. Hi everyone, RRMilligan here, and I've got the very latest in our local real estate stats and trends for the full Portland metro area, including Southwest Washington. Of course, all real estate is local, so if you've got questions about what's going on in a specific area or on a specific segment of the market, just drop me a line or post a question in the comment section right here. First up, as always, is the average sale price. Sale prices continue to bounce in our week-to-week numbers. You can see that here in this chart. Again, big swings aren't unusual to see in our week-to-week numbers at this time of year due to the relatively smaller sample size that we're working with. The average sale price was up about 6% compared to the previous week's low, but only down about 1% compared to the same week last year. That 1% drop in sale prices is pretty similar to what we've been seeing in the wider metro area over the past 4 or 5 weeks. That's in our year-over-year numbers. Next up, our supply and demand. No big changes to report in our supply and demand trends. The supply of homes that buyers have to choose from increased by a very small amount. We're continuing to see more homes get listed for sale each week compared to last year at this time. This past week, 603 homes came to the open market compared to only 470 last year. Buyer demand has continued to outpace last year's demand for 6 weeks in a row now. The number of new purchase contracts agreed to by both buyers and sellers came in at 637 compared to last year's 518. In addition to that, our measure of high intent buyers out looking at the homes with their agents was up by about 17% compared to last year at this time. Now on to the big story of the week, mortgage rates. Up through last Friday, rates had been improving, and that had been going on for a couple of weeks. By the end of last week, mortgage rates were holding at 5.625%. And based on what we were seeing on the bond market on Friday, I was thinking rates might have even dipped to 5.5% on Monday. And then Iran started and the market started to flail a bit. The best rate that I could find for the 30-year fixed on Thursday morning was already a quarter of a point higher at 5.875% with an APR of 5.963%. That's still a pretty good rate based on what we've been seeing over the last year or so, but I do suspect that rates are going to be even a little bit higher by Friday morning due to what we're seeing on the markets today. I'll of course post a note in the comments section right here when I put this video up on Friday, and I'll throw Friday's rate sheet with the full spread of loan programs at the end of this video as usual. Next up, I wanted to chat a little bit about price reductions. Price reductions in the metro area are continuing to run a little hot. Last week, about 560 sellers reduced their asking price. That's about 10% of all sellers with homes currently on the market. And that number was about 17% more than the number of price reductions that we saw last year at this time. So even with increased buyer demand, sellers still seem to be struggling a bit with getting their home sold. So to summarize the big trends that we're watching this week, sale prices are still lagging behind last year's sale prices. Supply was up a small amount, buyer demand is still strong and outpacing last year's demand, and mortgage rates are on the rise. Congratulations, you made it to the end of this week's report. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope that you got something helpful or informative out of the video. As always, I would love a like or a follow if you haven't already. Have a fantastic weekend, and I will see you right here next week.